Hey everybody, today I'm going to show you how to make one of these. This is your basic camera grip handle. It's got a nice rubber bicycle grip. It's hollow to keep it light, and it has a 1/4 thread sticking out the top and a large surface area in which you can mount to your camera or other stabilization device. Let's do it. Alright, here are your basic parts. You have a rubber bicycle grip. This could also be foam, whatever it is, it needs to be pliable. You've got a 1/4 inch bolt that's 3/4 inches in length with a 1/4 inch lock washer. You have a 1/2 inch PVC slip plug right there. It's got a 1/4 inch hole drilled in it. You've got a 1/4 inch coupler, and you've got a piece of PVC that's 1/2 inch in diameter, and it's, as you can see there, 3 1/4 inches in length. I've also got a cold/hot shoe adapter here, great for DIY projects. It gives you a couple of these knurled nuts right there. These are about $3 on eBay. Alright, so let's go ahead and start assembling. This is a pretty straightforward assembly. The first thing you're going to do is take your plug right here, which again has a 1/4 inch hole drilled into it. If you're not sure how to do this, I'll refer you to another video and an annotation or a link down below here. I think it was my tripod dolly video where I did several of these. I like these hexagonal plugs like this. Looks like a stop sign because it's easy to do crisscrosses and then find the exact center, which is really nice, opposed to, say, like the Home Depot plugs, which are round in shape, makes it harder to find the center. I got these at Lowe's. So what I'm going to do is get my 1/4 inch bolt and drop the lock washer on top of it. That's really important because it'll prevent the whole thing from unscrewing. Essentially, as you get the whole thing put together and this becomes out of reach, this lock washer will save you from lots of problems if you don't use it and the thing starts to become unscrewed all the time and you can't reach the bolt to fix it. Alright, so now you got the thing coming through here, and normally what you would do in a DIY build like this is you would get a 1/4 inch nut and drop it on top like this, but then the main problem with a lot of these is that now you have a nut on top here and there's just no surface area for you to mount your camera on top of. It's just a really narrow space, and you might put a washer on it or something, but we want this to be self-contained. So what I'm going to do, there's a couple ways you can do this actually. You could make your hole narrower here and then self-thread it with this nut or machine screw or bolt, excuse me, so that it doesn't move around. But if you don't want to do that, a really nice alternative is to use these hot shoe adapters. You just take these nuts off of it like that, and you get a couple of them, and you're just flipping it over, and now you can see you've got a lot of surface area right there. So now we're just going to mount this on top with the largest side up, and you can just hold the bolt with your finger, hold it in place. The lock washer will do all the work, and then you just twist it until it's tight. So there you go. So that's where your camera's going to ride, and notice how much more surface area you have compared to the kind of standard 1/4 inch nut right there. It's just no contest. Now granted, you don't have any spongy stuff right here. If you want kind of a spongy area for your camera to sit on, you could always put some sort of rubber washer on it. I typically don't, but if you want to, there you go. Now you're just putting this whole slip assembly, slip plug into your coupler as far as you can go there until it collapses. There we go. So there's your assembly there, and then you're just putting the scrap piece of PVC into the bottom of the coupler. So there you go. That's your most basic camera handle right there. I mean, if you wanted to stop there, you could, and you really haven't spent that much money. But if you want to dress it up, which is kind of the whole point of this, one thing you can do is cover up this with a cap if you want, but I don't really like the way this looks, especially if you're going to some gig or something. You don't want people to know that you're using PVC for some of your DIY builds. You can easily hide this by sliding a bicycle grip over it. The catch here is that you want something that's pliable because you're going to have to go over this larger area right here that the coupler makes up, and you want to cover this, obviously, which is the easy part, but this will barely fit. Actually, the 1/2 inch PVC will go right inside of a standard bicycle grip, which makes it a nice size to build DIY stuff if you're going to use grips. And however, when you get to this area, it's going to get a little tough because your bicycle grip is going to have to be pliable to fit over this, which is why I recommend something like foam, which is much cheaper than this, or something made out of a pliable material like rubber. But even the rubber gave me a tough time trying to shove it over this area right here. So Dave Knopp actually had a tip that I'm going to try right now. Dave Knopp over at Knopp Top said, you know, spray this with hairspray, and that'll make it slick, and then it will dry to kind of a sticky consistency. So we're going to try that right now. Borrowed some hairspray from my wife here. I'm going to spray it down. And now my eyes are burning. And we're going to see if Dave was right. All right, you can see I'm making some progress here, although it's been very difficult. I've actually had to go to the floor like I originally did and kind of angle it down into the floor and just use my body weight and sort of push this as hard as I can over this. As you can hear, I'm actually kind of winded doing it, but it's taking a lot of effort, but it is going. I'm just sort of working with the edge here and kind of keeping it out so it doesn't roll over. But I'm now going to return to the floor and continue to work this over. As you can see, it's having a hard time because it's going over the larger coupler piece, but now I'm going to go finish the job, and I'll be right back. All right, so here's the finished product. As you can see, I've managed to work the grip over the PVC and coupler. Notice it sort of gets bigger there. You can sort of see the shape that the rubber grip has taken on, covering the coupler and the PVC. You've got a hollow bottom there. If you have perhaps a grip that has a cap on the bottom, that would probably be ideal. You could just make the PVC a little bit shorter and then pop the cap on, make it look completely professional. Then you've got your large stage on top there with your thread poking through, that you can now attach to the bottom of a camera or rig or whatever else, whatever quarter 20 thread you have access to that you want a grip for. So that's basically it. Like I said, it's simple, but I think it looks pretty good and it's very functional and it's big. Fits your entire hand. My hands are pretty big, but if you use these sizes, you'll have, I mean, it's the same size as any bicycle grip. So there you go, you're all set. So if you go ahead and spend all the money on all the parts to build this, you will spend about 10 bucks. Now the good news is that 10 bucks will actually allow you to build 2 of these versus buying 1 for the same price. And if you're wondering why you would need 2 of these, well, let's say you have some kind of stabilizer rig with quarter 20 mounting points that you would like to attach to it, this could be the ticket for you. Now if you do want to save some money, you could always opt to use the foam grips versus the rubber grips, and I'll leave all these links below. I actually needed 2 of these for a rig that I'm constructing that I'm really excited about, that you're going to see in the near future. So that's the reason I'm doing this video, as well as because of several requests that I had on how to make these, which were featured in the Frugal Stabilizer II. So that's it for today. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time. So thanks for watching, and until that next video rolls around, bye.